Not just yet.
Not just yet. You got to wait for the live streaming.
Yes, sir.
Right.
It's up on my end, Jim.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. All right, we are going to call the governance committee meeting to order.
If you would, just do a roll call of the members.
Yes, sir. Rick Fish, complete payroll, governance committee.
Jeremy Satchel.
Jim Brick.
Okay, Rick, you can proceed.
Do we need a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to accept the minutes from the March 16th meeting?
Jeremy Satchel, I'll make that motion to accept the minutes from March 16, 2020.
Second, Jim?
I'll second it.
Very good. Appointment of governance committee members
Got to have a vote on that, Rick, please.
to accept the minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
All those in favor of accepting the minutes as stated?
Aye.
Jeremy Satchel, aye.
Motion carries. Recommendations to the board, appoint the governance committee members. I'm assuming we're doing the same as last year?
Yeah, historically, all members of the board are members of both committees, so
Very good.
you'll need a motion for that.
Jeremy?
Yeah, I'll make that motion. Jeremy Satchel to appoint all of the members of the board of directors to the governance committee.
I'll
Jim?
second it.
Very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Appointment of the finance and audit committee members.
So I would surmise that you're looking for a motion there as well, and I'll make the motion that all members of the WCB board of directors are appointed to the finance and audit committee as well.
Thank you, Jeremy. Jim?
Second that.
All right. Without any further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Luer has entered the meeting as well.
Okay. No picture though, huh?
No video here.
Okay, there we go. I just said, but as long, I didn't know if you could hear us or we could hear you, and okay. Appointment of officers for the WCBC board, recommended slate of officers for the board. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion, Jim.
Dynamite. Jeremy?
Yeah, I will second the recommendation, which I assume is to maintain the same slate of officers as from 2020.
Correct. Any debate? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, we need to review, adopt, and readapt governance policies, procurement policy. Is that the same as last year's policy, Jim?
Yeah, I sent, in one of the barrage of emails that I sent the board, there was a link to our website where you could go on and review all the policies. So I didn't send you another 30 documents.
Okay,
I'm sure everyone was well disciplined and went on there and read those policies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, indeed.
so do we need a motion for each one of these policies coming up, all 5 of them?
I think 1 through 4 should be a separate motion. There could be a separate motion.
Okay, so I need a motion to accept policies 1 through 4.
I'll make that motion.
Very good, sir. Thank you, Dan. Second.
Second.
There we go. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. We need to Get a motion to review and adopt the sexual harassment policy, the new sexual harassment policy.
Yes, at the last year's annual board meeting, I think it was suggested by Dan Lower that we have a sexual harassment policy in place. We don't necessarily have any employees at the business center, but we do have facilitators and business mentors under contract. So they will have to comply with the sexual harassment policy and do their training.
Very good. I need a motion to accept the sexual harassment policy as suggested.
This is Jeremy. I would make that motion to accept the policy, the sexual harassment policy that has been presented to us.
Very good. Second.
Second.
Very good. Is there any discussion on it before we implement it? That's about as thorough a policy as I've ever seen. So without any further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Boom. Okay. Governance committee, Jim?
Yeah, you just need the adjournment and we're good to go with the recommendations you're making to the full board. So,
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion to adjourn the governance committee meeting.
Thank you, Jeremy. I need a second.
I'll second that, Rick.
Very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carries, we are adjourned. Okay, now which committee do we go to?
we go to the annual finance and audit committee agenda.
Annual finance. The audit and finance?
It just should be finance and audit committee.
Okay. So we need a roll call to establish the quorum.
Yes, please.
Jeremy Satchel.
Jim Brick.
Dan Lure.
Rick Fish. Okay. Without any further ado, we're calling the meeting to order. I need review and approve the Finance and Audit Committee minutes from March 16th. Can I get a motion for that?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion to approve the Finance and Audit Committee meeting minutes from March 16th of 2020.
Second.
Very good. Any discussion on that? Any changes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. The motion carries. We need to review and accept the budget for 2021. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make that motion, accept that budget 21.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Dan. Any discussion on the budget? Okay, everything looked kosher to me, so without any further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We need to adapt the finance and audit policies and investment policy. Can I get a motion to do that?
I'll make that motion, Rick.
Thank you, Dan. Second?
This is Jeremy. I'll second that.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion on the policies? Without any further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. I need a motion to adjourn the Audit and Finance Committee.
I'll move to adjourn the Audit and Finance Committee.
Thank you, James. Need a second?
Yeah, this is Jeremy. I'll second it.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Done. The next one is the Wyoming County Business Center annual meeting, Jim.
Yeah, it's up on the screen if you can see it.
Ooh, baby, you put something up on the screen. Hang on.
Look at that.
No, now I don't need to go over to mine. Okay. We need to do a roll call again to establish a quorum. I am Rick Fish.
Jeremy Satchel?
Jim Brick,
Dan Lure here.
Very good. We have a quorum. With that, I call the meeting to order. Administrative, we need to get a motion to approve the minutes from the December 29th, 2020 meeting.
I'll
Mr.
make that
Chairman,
motion.
okay, there we go.
And any discussion on the minutes, any changes? All those in favor?
aye.
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 Motion carries. Very good. We need to review the financial reports for March 2021. That would be through March, Jim, or?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
for this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeremy,
Okay,
we sent these to Jeremy, our treasurer, ahead of time. Hopefully he had a chance to look them over.
sure did. So in front of you on the screen, you have the financial report for the business center from January 1 of this year through March 31. And I'll just walk through the first page that you're seeing on the screen. Beginning January, we had cash on hand of $438,882.65. During the first 3 months of the year, we had total income of $6,789.87, which you can see by the accounting, the category breakdown. We had principal repayment on loan obligations totaling $33,266.74 during that same time frame. If we slide down a little bit further, you see an accounting of the expenses over the same time frame. We had total operating expenses of $9,009.41. Again, the categories are broken down with marketing and the Business Accelerator Academy program being the two larger expense items. During that same time frame, we also provided some funding for a couple of loans totaling $60,000, and then we had some project expenses for WCB North. So total other disbursements, $60,836.50, which brings us to the end of that page, which displays the cash on hand as of March 31st was $409,093.35, broken out into the various accounts as listed on the document. And if we continue on, you look at the budget analysis. I noticed one little typo there that should be the 2021 budget versus 2020 there,
Yes.
if I understood that correctly.
Yeah.
But that being said, it gives a breakdown of the anticipated 2021 budget, and then year to date, it breaks down the revenue and expenses. So as of end of first quarter, we had a net loss of $2,623.54.
Any discussion about the financials? We need a motion to accept them. Can I get a motion, James?
Yes,
Awesome. In a second, Dan?
I'll second that.
Very good. Any discussion on the financial statements? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. What's next?
Mr. Chairman, the next item is the 2020 audit report, which was completed by Freed Maxick. And with the board's permission, I've asked Robin to give kind of a quick overview. Normally the board members just skip to see what the findings are and make sure we're not in hot water. But- So
Which I
Robin,
did. Which I did.
some things never change.
Right.
Go ahead, Robin.
All right, thank you, Jim. Well, first I want to say that as has been in the past, the audit was completed by Freed Maxick PC of Batavia, out of Batavia. But new for this year was that our typical lead auditor, Kathy Barrett, had to step down as lead auditor for 2 years of the after 5 years. It's a requirement by the public authorities law that the lead has to step aside for 2 years after 5 years of being there. So Nicole Ryan was our lead audit this year. And, you know, I just wanted to make sure that that was said and announced. The audit was completed in accordance with GASB, the general accounting standards. And there were no new standards that were implemented this year. There is a couple of new standards that are on the horizon, but the because of the COVID-19, they were waived, they were put on, you know, postponed. So no new items were put on the audit this year. So yeah, Jim's got us open there to, I believe it's page 3 of the financial statements. And I'll just quickly go through it. As you guys can see, it's pretty self-explanatory. Under our current assets up at the top, you notice we had $200,000 in CDs. So that increased our CDs by $75,000 in 2020. We still were under in our assets. Some of that had to do with the fact that we put out some more cash into our loans. As you see, the notes receivable down lower has increased by $145,000. So we did put out, you know, more notes this year. So our expendable or our current assets up at the top have kind of got mixed into some of the non-current assets because they're longer term notes. Our net position at the end of the year, we end up with $838,560. And, you know, that's a little bit more than what we had last year. But again, with COVID-19 coming in, we didn't have a whole lot of other activity other than a few of the loans going out. And we ended up having to change some of the programs up. You can scroll forward, Jim, and I'll explain. So on our operating revenues, this will show we were kind of in line with where we were in 2019 for 2020. However, some of the money came from the different areas. As you see under operating revenues, there's Business Accelerator program revenue. That's a new program that we started. We had planned on doing this or been looking at it just before the COVID started, and we were able to get it up and going and implemented during this whole pandemic. The Fast Track program, the income's a little bit less for 2020 than it was in 2019, mainly because our spring class got postponed. It got started. We were trying to do it. We tried to do a couple classes and, you know, keep with the restrictions and social distancing and all that, but it just didn't work out. We had to postpone them. And then the class ran again in the fall. But overall, I don't think it doesn't look bad for us as far as that we didn't get hit too hard with the COVID. We kept going and kept helping our businesses. And Jim will talk about that later in our annual report. But, you know, overall, we didn't have too bad of a year. We had 3 regular BAC loans that went out for a total of $145,000. And we had a restart program that we started, and we were able to put out $59,000 to small businesses to help them keep going and make changes to the businesses that they needed because of the pandemic. So you can scroll down to the next page, Jim.
Excuse me, Robin. Can you explain the $23,779 in special projects that were listed for 2020?
23,779. Okay, some of that is the MK project, which actually most of that is the MK project, the special project. If you remember, we developed a WCBC North, which is overseeing studies and trying to get the development of the MK site over in Arcade, and that special projects is the funds. I think the board had approved 25,000 to go into. Help me out here, Jim. It was a study that had to be done.
Is that
Environment.
the environmental assessment?
Yeah, yep.
Phase one and
environmental
phase
assessment.
2. Yep.
I got it.
There
Okay.
you go. Yeah, and then some other, incidentals, to take care of that. So.
All right.
So then, so our cash flows, and you see cash flow operations, like I said, issuance of notes receivable was up from 2019. And, so we kept helping our businesses and getting the money out the door for our businesses this year. And we did increase our purchase on a certificate of deposit. So our CD went up. So that took some of our cash out of our, liquid cash in the bank and put it into a CD. And then, as you scroll down, Jim, again, you see our cash on hand at the end of the year, or cash equivalents are down, but it's because some rolled into, more rolled into loans. So it wasn't cash on hand. Okay, and then, let's see. Gotta bear with me because I'm trying to think what they would want to tell you. What's so important here. Again, if you go to page 9, Jim. And at the bottom of page 9, again, they have spelled out what we've done with our notes, the total notes receivable, where we were in 2019 compared to where we are in 2020. It just shows you where the monies went and where we are with the notes. And we have done very well. I have to say that with the crazy year that we have, we did put a hold or waiver on payments. But once that started back up, we had a waiver for 6 months. That all of our businesses have started paying. Our accounts are current. We don't have anyone that's really fallen behind and in a bad place right now. Everything's rolling along. So Jim, if you want to, if I have any more on that. I think that's it for the financial statement. Along with the financial statement, they also prepare, Freedmaxic also prepares a report to the board. That was the other item that came with you. And again, that just, it goes over what Freedmaxic's responsibilities are as the auditor, and that they have to complete the audit in accordance with the government accounting standards. They report on what they found, their findings or sightings, and they have reported that the financial statements were prepared on assumption that the center will continue as an ongoing going concern. Under page 2 on that report, if you look at all the areas that they have listed audit adjustments, there was no audit adjustments made to the original balance presented at the beginning of the audit. Uncorrected misstatements, they were not aware of or found any uncorrected misstatements. Disagreements with management, they encountered no disagreements with management. They're not aware of any consultations with any other audits or consultants. Significant issues with discussed with management, there was no significant issues that arise from the audit. No difficulties in dealing with the management. Jim behaved himself this year. So, there is a copy of the representation letter provided attached to this report that the board can read through. And the last letter that's attached is also a letter that's required that says, states that they have in compliance with New York State Comptroller's investment guidelines. They've reviewed and audited our investments, and everything's been in line the way they should be. They haven't found any fraud or any suspected fraud. There's been no known non-compliance with the investment guidelines, and everything seems to be good and clean. We have no problems. And my report. And if anybody has any questions, please ask me, because I don't know, I may have missed some sections that you've seen that had questions on.
Do they ask for potential conflicts of interest as part of the audit?
Do. Yes,
do.
they do.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, do you need a motion to accept the audit results?
I do, sir.
Okay, I'd make that motion. This is Dan Lure.
I'll second it, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Any discussion on the financial audit?
Great job.
I thought it was. And the only question I have, Jim, how are we doing on, those funds, once we've loaned them twice, then they become released? Is there any funds left that are in jeopardy of not becoming free? You know what I mean?
I'm not really following you on that.
I could answer that. I think you're referring to the funds that came in through grants, and they would be restricted until
Yes.
they're not restricted.
Yep.
And right now we're showing some restricted funds still, but technically they're not restricted, I guess you should say. But it's the Wolcott loan shows as it's still coming in as a deferred revenue, so it's not earned to us until it comes back, but it's not going anywhere either. But and then under restricted, under our net position on page 3, under net position of the financial statements, there's $5,354 that shows as restricted. That is from the old CDBG grant funds that came over from the IDA back in 2011, the New York Stock Exchange. That's the balance of their note that still sits with us. And it's called restricted because until it comes in, it's not free. But again, it's not sitting in our account where they're going to take it away. It's
Right.
encumbered in a note. So
Very good. Okay, that's great to know. All right, in that case, if there's no further discussion.
I do have one other question, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
So we formed a limited corporation for the MK Industries.
Correct.
So we have no liabilities then associated with that? Or do
Ideally,
we?
ideally, yes.
Okay.
It has no assets. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
and Mr. Laird, you'll also see, I'm trying to find the page real quick that it's on. It is mentioned, it is talked about in our financial statement that the WCBC North is included with our reports. Because it's a small amount, they call it a blended component. And they've blended it into the financial statements with the WCBC.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering how that was kept separate.
Yeah. That's on page 6 of the financial statements. It does talk about that being reported as a blended component.
Okay.
Is that Dan?
All set, thanks.
Fantastic. All right, any further discussion? Any further discussion then? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I just, before you move on, Mr. Chairman, I just want to express my gratitude and support for Robin and Jennifer on the financial situation that we find ourselves with the WCBC. I think they do a great job, and thankful to our treasurer who provides some key oversight as well. But
Yes.
it's a very good team, and it shows very well in the audit report.
It's a fantastic team, and thank God we got women in charge because they can remember. They're only working at it part-time, and they can still remember everything. So I'm always impressed. And of course, Jeremy, he's always up on the current events, so we're in great shape there. All right, what's next on the agenda, James?
Next item is review and approval of the mission statement, which I have up on the screen.
So I need a motion to approve that.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the mission statement that is presented to us today.
Thank you, Jeremy.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Dan. Any discussion on our mission statement? Without any further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next,
The next item is the authorization execution of the 2021 contract with Wyoming County. That's for the $56,000 that we had in our budget request.
I'll move
And
that.
it's up on the screen.
thank you, Jim. Is that a motion, Jim?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And a second?
I'll second that. This is Jeremy.
Jeremy? All right. Any discussion? Without any further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
And the last item under administrative is the authorization execution of the 2021 contract with the WCIDA for administering the WCBC
Right.
at an annual cost of $20,000, which is a bargain.
It's a steal. Right.
Hey, Jim, I noticed it says the address is 6470 Route 28 in Perry.
I was
Good
just
catch.
gonna
Good
say,
catch.
I don't know how that got put into the packet, but I have on my table 2 copies to be signed that have the current addresses. So I don't know how that old one got back in there. So I apologize.
We never use old documents, Jim. With everything's always original.
All I can say is,
Yeah,
Never
nobody said
repurposed
that.
anything, huh?
Jimmy, I'm starting to worry about you if you caught it that quick. I'm worried.
You're
All
not
right.
careful, Jim. We're going to send all documents to you for editing now.
I need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to accept the contract between the IDA and the Business Center as presented with the slight adjustment for the corrected address.
Correct.
I'll second that.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is that it for this committee, Jim?
No, we have to now act on, I have to go all the way back to the top, I guess, to show you the agenda again, but it's, you have to act on all of the governance committee recommendations. And hang on, I'll get you back up there. Whoops. You can see
That one was just approved to the IDA. The date at the end says 2016 on it too. So you should correct that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, we're on the, if you can see this on the screen, we're on item 2 on the agenda.
I need a motion to accept A through E policies.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second that, Jim.
Thanks, Dan. Any discussion on our policies and appointments? Without any further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now I need a motion to act on the Finance Audit Committee recommendations. Or did we do that already? No, we didn't do that, did we?
No, not yet.
All right. I need a motion for that.
Mr. Chairman, this is Jeremy. I'll make a motion to act on the recommendations made for the Finance and Audit Committee.
Thank you, Jer. Second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion on that, on the recommendations? Without any further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. What was that last item? You just disappeared on me.
Uh-oh. We're just moving on to the annual report. Review and approval of the 2020 annual report.
You need a motion.
I'm going to go through it and give a presentation.
Oh, goody.
Sorry.
I'll make that motion. I read through it here on the computer earlier, so.
I did too. Can we
All
get
right.
a second?
If everyone's
So
read
then-
it, then that's fine.
Right. Can I get a second?
Yeah, this is Jeremy. I've read it and I'll second it as well.
Fantastic. Any summary you want to give, Jim?
No, I just think it's, despite having a pandemic, we got our fast track class, finally got one session in for 2020 in the fall, which was good. I think we're proud of the fact that we've had several of our fast track people open up businesses. We participated in ribbon cutting ceremonies, as you saw. We launched this new business Accelerator Academy. We had our first class of that. It was very highly rated by businesses that have been in existence for a while. We got high marks, for example, from Sandy Purdy, who's been in business for 15 years, but went through this academy and found out ways to kind of reinvent her business or try something new and diverse. So we're really proud of that. We launched this mentorship program that are helping small businesses that are having some challenges. It's one-on-one counseling. They get 8 hours of consultation. And then the microloan program, despite having a pandemic, we did three loans out of there. And if you look at the growth of our loan portfolio, it's almost up to $400,000. So we've been very, very active with it. Spotlight Theater paid off their loan. The Restart program was mildly successful, I guess I would call it. There's the 6 people that went through it and received the funds. I'm expecting another application here in the very near future. We continue on with the business attraction marketing efforts. And then one of the issues I wanted to bring to the board and report is that we have a significant shortage of industrial buildings in this county. The same case can be held in Western New York. So collectively, work was done to develop a real estate strategy with a national consultant. I'm heavily engaged with the committee on getting that done. They came back with some results, and now I'm involved with the committee structure to help implement some of those solutions to address the building shortage. Because what happens is about 85% of business prospect leads that we get want to be in an existing building. And if you don't have any buildings, they just keep right on going. So I guess it could, we could point to ourselves and the success of our economic development programs to say we don't have any empty buildings, but it is a challenge that we're facing. And then later on in the agenda, I'll talk about the MK site and we'll go from there. But that was just kind of a 5-minute quick summary of it.
Tim, did you have anything to do with getting rid of that Broder building down on 19, or was that all private?
No, that was an IDA project as well.
Yeah, well, that was a good thing to get rid of that, the way it was kind of unsightly. So.
Yeah, it looks like Mr. Gullo is going to join us.
All right. The meetings have been moving very quickly, Mr. Gullo. I'd just like to point that out, and that we don't want you slowing us down now that you joined us, please. Okay.
I won't say anything, Chairman Fish.
We all know how you ramble on. Okay, so.
Oh my goodness.
My apologies to the group.
Quite all right. We all get last minute schedule changes. All right, James, where are we? Is that the end of this committee?
We are now at just some quick updates. The microloan program.
Excuse me, Jim.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Do we need to approve the 2020 annual report?
Yes, I'm sorry. Good catch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I missed that too. Okay, that's so is there any further discussion?
I just wanted a quick moment just to say thank you to Jim and Robin and Jen for all of your hard work and leadership through just some very challenging times, just to see the activities that continued on and the support for the businesses in Wyoming County. Just great job, and thank you to all of you.
Well put, Jeremy. I couldn't agree more. It is a fantastic job given the circumstances this year. Not that you guys don't do a great job under normal,
True. That's right.
even better this year.
And I'd like to point to the fact that we haven't lost any of our borrowers or anything at this point. So
Mhm.
Yeah, that was big.
Yes.
Very good. All right. So any other discussion? Without any,
we were just going to go through the updates. I was going to pull up the, if you can bear with me, I'll pull up the, well, there's the agenda. I was going to pull up the micro loan report so you folks could see where we are with that, if you bear with me a second.
While you're doing that, should we make a motion to approve the annual report?
we already have the motion and the second.
Okay.
I believe.
We do. Okay.
All we need is the vote at this point.
All right.
Is this part of the annual report, Jim, or can we pass this one?
No, you can pass that one.
All right. Now, any further discussion? Without any further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. The annual report is accepted. Jim, what are your other comments?
I just want to get to the micro loan report.
Yep. I think it just went by it. No, there it is.
Okay, I know that we follow these very closely. I would like board authorization to write off this Silver Trail Outfitters loan. We filed, we put a claim in on the bankruptcy. We basically got nickels or pennies on the dollar, and subsequently received notice from the court that there will be no more proceeds coming in our direction. So we would like the permission to write off the $30,540.16.
Jim, question on the bankruptcy claim. Who filed bankruptcy, and was it both individuals and the company?
It was, yes, both individuals and the company.
Okay.
And both owners were co-borrowers on the loan.
That's unfortunate for them as much as us.
Yeah, the Bank of Cast Isle took a big hit too, by the way.
Mm-hmm. They tried.
Yep. All righty. Can we get a motion about the writing off the 30,000?
I'd make that motion, Rick.
Thank you, Sam.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jim. Any discussion on it? Unfortunately, I think it's a dead dog. So all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, Jim, write it off.
All right, appreciate that. Unfortunately, we run a high-risk loan programs, and on occasion you do get a bad one, but
Yep.
for the most part, we are pretty vigilant about getting our money back.
I would say overall, we're doing fantastic.
Yeah, so Wilcox Brothers Music, you know, he still stays in contact with us, but has not provided much in the way of payments since December. So Jennifer stays right on him pretty good. The other ones I wanted to bring to your attention, the Country Homes and Interior loan has been paid in full. That one has been in arrears since 2006, I believe.
Wow.
Wow.
That one came over to us from the IDA and subsequently has now finally been paid off. So God bless Bill and Nancy Squires for sticking to it and getting that money back to us.
Amen.
The New York Stock Exchange was another IDA loan that came over to us when they gave us the micro loan program. We have been working through our attorney in Eric's dad's office because they were initially involved with this whole loan, and the Sheriff's Department in Monroe County. We are getting payments from the husband of the borrower, who has since been divorced from the wife, but he signed as a personal guarantee. he's gainfully employed. The other one is on the missing persons report, I guess I would say. She's very difficult to track down and does not stay on a job very long. But we're fortunate to have one of the guarantees come through. And the rest you can see there are, we do have one default or one late payment on hybrid design and construction. And actually, I might as well ask the board for that now. This is a contractor that came to us for a restart loan program after things began opening up. He subsequently has received a fracture in one of his vertebrae in his neck and is temporarily out of work, and has asked the board if he could receive a deferral of principal and interest. And we did receive an email from him to that effect. He's asking for a 3-month deferral, and it was in the board packet.
What's the next item on your chart there, Jim?
He actually went through our fast track program as well.
Mhm.
It's the next
Oh.
item on the screen, Jim. If you scroll down, you got it on the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, given the circumstances of his health and whatnot, I don't think the request to defer 3 months of principal and interest is unreasonable by any means.
I agree with Jeremy. Especially if he's in the construction business. I don't know, is 3 months going to be enough?
Mhm.
Well, considering the request came almost a month ago.
Okay,
I mean, it seems based on the communication there that 3 months was the initial plan. We could always revisit it if his return to work was delayed, correct?
yeah. Yes,
Jim, to your recollection, have we done deferment requests before?
We have for the microloans, not for the restart loan program.
Okay, but we have some precedents
Oh, yeah,
for doing them. Okay.
very much so.
all right, I need a motion if anybody's gonna,
Yeah, this is Jeremy. I'll make the motion to support the 3-month deferral for the loan to, and now the name of the business escapes me, Hybrid Design.
yep,
I'll second that, Rick.
thank you, Dan. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Is that it, Jim?
I just got one last item to cover, and I'm going to try to pull the agenda back up here again. And then again. So we went through a lot of this already with the annual report under the update section. The only thing we really didn't cover was the MK, and I know that's a big commitment on the part of the board. So I just wanted to give a quick summary on where things lie with that. As you know, the board authorized us to take ownership of it, of the property, so that we could be in a position to apply for some federal EPA brownfield grants and any other programs that are coming down the pike as a result of a lot of this stimulus and American Rescue money and things of that nature. Specifically, brownfields have been targeted for part of that. What that's going to mean, I'm not sure. But it certainly puts us in a driver's seat for applying for some grants to see what we could get done with that site. Prior to taking ownership of the site, we worked with Kevin, council, on conducting a title search of the 2 parcels that make up the MK site, primarily to determine if there are going to be any issues with any easements or right-of-ways or things that may prohibit or cause a bump in the redevelopment of the site. Kevin and his team reviewed the title search, and there were no red flags that popped up. And so subsequently, the next step for us is to before we move into taking a position of ownership on it, I have to wait for a 6-week window to close a little tighter before the EPA grant applications, which are due in October. So what has to happen is we have to do an updated environmental assessment, phase 1 of the site within 6-month period of making application. That gives us what's called a bona fide prospective purchaser status, which is something that is key for being eligible for the grant program. So around July 1st or so, I will be having Labella update our phase 1. It shouldn't be much of a significant cost at all, since they've already did the other one. And once we have that, then we can instruct the county attorney to move towards the transfer of the title to the WCBC North LLC. That's really where we are with MK at this point.
Very good. Any further discussion?
Jim, do you still have developers that are interested?
Yeah, in fact, we have been communicating on a regular basis about 4 times today, as a matter of fact. So yeah, they're still very interested. They've conducted their own market study, in particular for senior housing, since that's one of the uses the Village of Arcade wanted to see on the site. They don't have the results of that yet, but they're paying their own funds for that market study. In addition, the Village of Arcade is also doing a complete market analysis of Arcade to see what other types of niches might be feasible for what's going to be called a multi-use reuse site. So yeah, to answer your question, Dan, they are still very, very interested.
Okay.
All right. Without any further discussion, I need a motion to adjourn the whichever committee we're in.
This is the board meeting. Once we adjourn, then
This
we're
is
all
the
done.
board
Yeah, then we're done.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we were back to the beginning.
See how much faster it went when Sam joined us? We're just ready to get out of here now.
I know.
Yeah, you really got through the material quick, Mr. Fish.
It's not bad for an old guy, you know?
Mhm.
All right, uh-huh.
Probably isn't any snow where he is, you know.
There isn't. I ain't all froze up like you folks.
Hey, Jim, I have a couple of questions, if I may, as long as we're in the meeting.
Hey, I'm sorry, Dan. I thought we were in one of the other committee meetings. Yeah, this is
No.
time for new business and discussion.
Okay. Is the WCB eligible for any of the recovery funds that are being offered as a 501c?
Well, I would say that we put together, as you know, Wyoming County is getting what, $7.3 million or something like that. I know that there's a lot of departments that have submitted some suggestion or ideas on the use of some of that funds. So between ourselves and Scott Gardner, we put together kind of a wish list of economic development initiatives that we thought would be good, viable things for the business center to get some funding for. So we're hopeful that we sent that to the chairwoman, and that hopefully she shares that with the committee that's going to be making some of the decisions on the guidance of where those funds are going to be going.
We had an ad hoc budget committee meeting yesterday, and that came up, Jim, that we don't know if they're eligible for them funds or not, but.
Right.
Sure. I saw something that indicated that the funds may come in 2 parts, with some of the funds coming this year, some coming next year. But I'm not certain that the Treasury Department has established any specific rules yet about how those funds are going to be distributed. But I did think that the emphasis was supposed to be on tourism infrastructure, broadband, things like of that nature, right?
That's what I'm hearing, yes.
Okay.
And actually the memo we sent over to Chairwoman Ryan included a lot of tourism types of items in there, along with some economic development pieces that we felt could use some funding.
Okay.
Okay. Any other new business or anything we want to discuss? And without that, then I just need a motion.
I'll move we adjourn.
Wow, Sam, you want to second that? Turn your voice back on.
Yes.
All right, he's in finally. All right. All right. All those in favor, say aye.
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 We are adjourned. We are adjourned.
I just one final note. I just want to thank the board and the staff for everyone's support. I'm really proud of this organization, and we couldn't do it without all you folks. So we appreciate that.
Fantastic. All right.
You got it.
Any ideas when the next meeting will be, Jim, or is that, do we just add